Hey, welcome everybody. This is John Paul Mendocha, Dr. Speed Selling. This is Raging Verbalist number 342. For those who are keeping track, glad you're doing that. If you're new, welcome, welcome. If you're a veteran, glad that you're back again. Raging Verbalist is my weekly YouTube slash Facebook. And on the Facebook, it's a Facebook group for Position to Win Book, Position to Win Book, my book, Position to Win. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. Just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. Position to win. And yes, people do make a mistake in the first 5 minutes. Okay, so let's dive right in. Oh, by the way, don't dive too much into politics. Though, politics is crazy right now. The world has gone kind of nutty. I'm an ardent libertarian, so I can piss off people on the left and the right with equal fervor and ease. So let us dive in. So today we're going to talk about an update on Wispr Flow. Wispr Flow is a program, a service. It's available on Macs and Windows and Androids and iOS devices. And what it is it's a dictation system, and I've been using it, and it has been quite an amazing journey. I've done a couple before on this, but this is an update. So we're 57 days into the experiment and terror, if you will. And here's the thing is that I've used it every single day of the 57. I have just found it very straightforward, and it's the best voice to text system, best dictation things that I've ever seen. I'm over 68,000 words as of right now. It is smooth, it is easy, it works well, and that's pretty amazing for me. Second thing is that one of the biggest challenges that I had previously, that typing is just a bitch. I mean, I just doesn't connect with me the way it usually would with maybe some people. And I took typing in the seventh grade and I think I got a D plus in that, or maybe a C minus, something like that, but nothing great. I'm never really anywhere near close to 40 words a minute. That's what people calls like the benchmark. My sister, who used to type all the time, was fly like the wind, could hit 90, 100 words a minute. Ridiculous. Also, because spelling is a real problem for me. Remember the rule: if you can spell, you can't sell. Well, I'm the poster child for that. So I've been using this, and it works pretty well. Three is that, having struggled with this problem now for decades, I can tell you that I've done a lot of recording and I've done a lot of talking, because again, I'm the raging verbalist. And every time I bought a piece of software from a variety of different sources and tried all of the, John, all you got to do is dictate it. And, Google had something and Apple had something and IBM had something, and all God's children had something. And I kept buying them, and my wife would go, is it going to work this time? Bought special headsets, bought, you name it, I did it. Read a lot of inane, stupid stories that supposedly were going to train this thing. But, well, the problem is that it really didn't train it the way it needed to. So, every time I bought one of these things, it just was a disappointment right from the start. Even the AI stuff that had been coming out now doesn't mean that it didn't work, but it runs into problems. And when I discovered Otter AI is or IO, well, I don't know how they do it, but anyway, Otter has been a godsend for me to do lots of heavy duty transcription. However, it makes mistakes, and the cost of fixing mistakes is a lot, but it's better than nothing, right? Frankly, number four is that support was almost non-existent with everything else that I ever did. Well, if you could just train it, they would say, if you could just learn how to speak better, if you could, just do those things. The only person I ever had or saw have really early success 30 plus years ago was my then attorney. Now he's long since retired, but Neil could dictate page after page after page with no intonation in his voice. And he had to learn how to do dictation with a metronome. Tried that, by the way, drove me crazy. Plus, if you hear the metronome going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, it's an Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing going on there. So anyway, all I can say is that was just painful and just total bullshit, and that really didn't make any sense. Now, number five is for some of you may say, John, you've already said you've already said some of these things, but let me get down that Wispr Flow has done is open up a brand new direction in Vista for me. I mean, there is, literally 57 days ago, I started using this thing and with minimal training, and I mean minimal training. I have zero patience for that. It was off to the races. So this is why we're doing it today. Number six, I've been able to capture ideas significantly faster, not have to worry so much about it, because now I've got lots of recording devices. Here recording devices. I got lots of recording devices, and I've used a lot of them over the years because that has become my habit. But I've been not having to worry so much because here's really the process that you go through. I'll record it, then we'll transcribe it, then we have to edit it, and that's really a problem because oftentimes people will say, "John, you talk really fast." Yes, I do. In fact, according to Wispr Flow, I'm often in the top 5%, 3%. To me, that's not as important as getting stuff. In fact, when I'm writing, like I'm writing a couple of books using Wispr Flow, is that I slow way down. I mean, it's changed my output quite considerably in how I capture things and put them together. This script would have been, much harder to do, but I put it together. So, that's really a good thing. Uh, Seventh thing is that their customer service has been absolutely superb, and they have responded to each and every support question I have had. Now, I don't know if it's real person or not, but if Tina is an AI, well, Tina is really good. And in fact, they answered my questions without the, geez, this is what you're doing wrong approach. I mean, an example is that I like to do play on words. That's part of what people do when they become wordsmithers or whatever you want to call that. And I sent it in, and they said, "Hey, that's a really clever use case. Let me tell you how to fix that." Then I ran into some more problems while I'm working on one of my books, and it kept fixing things. And they sent a very detailed, not going to go into it here, maybe down the road, but very detailed way of tweaking and altering and, if you will, putting together what you have. Probably my suggestion to them as if they needed any help from me, but they've been really responsive. And can we save the settings as a template, if you will, or as a settings mechanism so I can just go and click one button and I'm flip from one to the other and all of that. Now, number eight is that since I now have become the Wispr Flow pain in the neck guy, telling everyone that I meet, and I mean everyone I meet, they should be going forward and getting this amazing piece of software, this code. I've run into a lot of pushbacks, by the way, and the pushbacks have been things like, well, it doesn't do the grammar the way I want it to do. It doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Now, some of it is all about, I'm willing to accept to put my name on something fast because I just say, well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Example is a text message that doesn't have the right punctuation or doesn't have some of those other things. Well, guess what? I'm used to dealing with a lot less than that. 10th thing that I think is really interesting is that one of my clients was at an event and we were communicating via WhatsApp, and I was using Wispr Flow going back and forth. So we had this rather detailed conversation that we would have never had before, or we would eventually talk to each other, which was really not as convenient given that what she was doing, what I was doing. So to me, that's really a breakthrough. Got the ideas out, got them covered. Now I'm looking for a way, by the way, to archive all of my WhatsApp. I don't know, maybe that's a little scary. So number 11 is, let's wrap this up. In less than 2 months, I'm over 68,000 words. That's quite astonishing. I'm happy with the results. It's getting things done much more rapidly. As an example, the script that I'm writing for Aging Verbalist, because of a little over a year ago, I was in an auto accident and broke my index finger, spiral fracture, which I shared with everybody on my dominant left hand. It has meant that I'm writing much slower, and this thing has just blown the speed away. And again, I'm learning more about how to use it every single day. because Wispr Flow people are so supportive. And I don't know, again, if Tina is a real person or just an AI, but either way, things are progressing, and I'll keep you up to date as we go forward. Now, without a doubt, this is an amazing productivity tool. And I mean it. I recommend it for anyone who communicates uh, effectively and quickly. I know that there are the control freaks, the grammarians out there. I don't know if that's the right way to say that word. And all those who are really sticky people will probably not necessarily like it because they're perfectionists. But all I can say is compared to what I was used to and how much difficulty I had with other stuff I use, that I use this every single day. It turns out to be a godsend. We'll see how I go when I go down the road, but I use it like I'm using it right now because my wholehearted endorsement is for Wispr Flow. And all I can say is let the words keep on flying. And with that, that means that I will probably be working on getting more books out. And if you haven't got it, go get it. Most businesses fail the first 5 minutes. Just takes 3 to 5 years for them to realize how bad it was or is. Position to Win, go get it at Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes Noble, wherever bookstores are sell books. You can go ask for it and they can go order it. You can also get it from positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com, and finally you can get it digitally and Kindle, Nook, and Apple iBooks. And with that, I'm the Raging Verbalist telling you that you should speed up your productivity because you can talk so much faster, at least I can, than I can write or type. And you can capture these and find the gems and get to where you want to go. And with that, we'll see you on the next one next week without fail.